Okay, so Nelson, while we wait for you to turn on your camera, um, you can also tell us like what your superhero name is. That is the color of what you're putting on now, and the last thing that you ate, whatever it is that you ate. That's like mine is black rice. Sound very tough and everything. Yeah. What is yours? Hi, Nelson.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
You're muted.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said I would say hash rice. That would be my name.
ash rice. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool too. All
Mm-hmm.
right, everyone. So I'll just go straight into today's session. My name is Lauren Iditi, and I'm digital content marketer at Verticul. So Verticul is, in very simple terms, Verticul is an edtech platform where we provide courses and other resources for young people, for entry level professionals, core members to thrive in their careers. And one of the things that we do to help them is to provide a community for them where they can learn and they can thrive with fellow learners like themselves. And so last month was, sorry, 2 months ago, October was Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we
Yeah.
put out a whole lot of we had blog articles on cybersecurity. We had cybersecurity challenges, and there was a whole lot of excitement from that. And we saw that many people wanted to know what cybersecurity was about, even though they had little knowledge about it. And that's why we decided to have the Vertical Cyber Champs cohort program. So it's a program where, so we have a course, cybersecurity risk management. So it's a program where
Mhm.
people sign up and then they take the course. Besides the course, they also get other resources, which this session is one of them. So to be able to learn from directly from an expert, to know what cybersecurity is about, and just, let's say, get rid of the misconceptions about cybersecurity, because I think that there are so many people who think cybersecurity is for the techies alone, but we're trying to let them know that
Yeah.
cybersecurity is something that's very important and everybody needs to know. Yes, so I'll just start with some icebreaker questions for you. So the first thing I'll ask is that if you could swap lives with a historical figure, who would it be and why would you swap lives with them?
Uh, if I would, I think that would be um hmm. So does that include someone that's still alive or someone that is dead?
If someone
I,
who's
I think your yeah the line is breaking.
alive, someone who's anyone really. It could even be a
Um okay. Yeah, sorry, can you repeat what you said? Because I couldn't hear
okay.
the last.
I said,
Mhm.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Okay,
I
I
can.
said yes, it could be okay, it
Oh,
could
okay,
be
okay,
someone
okay.
who's alive. Yeah.
Okay. So that for me would be an hacker that died recently. He was the most famous hacker. Um, and he used to be called Mike, but I want to check out his name. We call him Mike in the cyber world. The reason is that um
Um,
what he did was inspiring. So he started the idea of ethical hacking. It would, and he was doing it for the fun to show if how porous an organization is, then he will now come and tell them. So it's like trying to get into an organization without them knowing. Then he will now come and inform them. He was locked initially in his um, initial life. It was locked for this because these are illegal. Then when he
yeah.
was released, he came up with the idea of security awareness. So the security awareness we do today in November, like globally, started with this
Yeah.
guy, you know, and
Mhm.
he created from his challenge, he created a company called Know Before, and
Mhm.
he started creating solution for phishing awareness training. So he uses what was at the time a challenge or a setback to
Yeah.
create a problem for the world to solve. So one of the biggest cybersecurity solution that had to do with security awareness training. It's called Know Before. And I think it died last year. And yeah, so I want to get, maybe I'll drop it on the chats. Someone might be interested to read about him. So that would be it for me because he was impacting life from his profession and from solution into training. And I don't know, can you see hear me? It's like my network is
Yes,
breaking. I want to be sure.
I, I can hear you.
All right. So that was what's it called? I want to drop his link on the chat, but that's the person I would love to, you know, be.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's really 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 nice. I didn't know that, and I mean, already I think I'm already the session I just started, but I'm already learning a lot, and I think that's something worthy of note. Taking something that in quotes was like a disadvantage and building
Mhm.
a solution out of it. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Okay, so the next question would be that so if you were explaining cybersecurity to a 5-year-old, very simple
Mhm.
terms, what would you say?
Yeah.
What would you tell that 5-year-old? Maybe you had a 5-year-old nephew. What would you tell
Oh,
him
okay.
cybersecurity is about?
Oh, so I would say cybersecurity is about just making sure you protect what belongs to you, right? Taking initiative to protect your information anywhere it is. So your information and anything that is sensitive about you. So
Okay.
that's what I would tell a 5 years old. So the 5 years old knows that, okay, he doesn't know the, the word sensitive, anything, but so I would use the word protecting, your um anything that has to do with you, you know,
Thank
if it's your
you.
money, if it's your clothes, uh, if it's your books that you take to school, right?
Yeah.
Find a way to make sure that you protect them against anyone that would want to steal them from you.
Okay, that's really nice. I actually really like that. So what if the 5-year-old asks, like, why is someone trying to steal from me? Like, why do they want to steal my books?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. And that's the thing because a 5-year-old might, I'm trying to think when I was 5 years, do I know what it means for someone to steal? You just know that you're looking for your pencil, your biro, and you see it with someone else. But
Yeah.
um, I'm not sure if a 5-year-old now will know what stealing means, right? But and I would just want to put it again in a different way would um be more intentional with your property. Maybe that's or make sure that you take good care of your property. So I'm trying to find a word
Mhm.
that would fit into a 5-year-old. So, but I think that that's what I would do so that you don't misplace it and you will need these resources or this book, this biro, or this money so that you don't go hungry,
Yeah.
right? I would want to relate it with money more because I think that a 5-year-old now knows what money is. So
Makes sense.
exactly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Mhm.
So now that we've had a basic understanding, like as a 5-year-old would understand,
Mhm.
now explaining it even in a more advanced way, why would you say cybersecurity is important? I mean, we live in a digital world where
Mhm.
things that are constantly evolving. So
Yeah.
I would say cybersecurity is important for everybody, regardless of who they are, whether
Hmm.
they are tech gurus or tech sisters or whatever. Why is it important?
Yeah, again, right? I was still looking at data as of I think it was yesterday evening. I was looking at data about, I like to read on reports on cybersecurity and what is happening in the world today. You will be amazed that the so much damage that is happening. Cybersecurity is first of all important to you as a person. We cannot talk about how many people have lost money that had to do with them, or they've lost very important things, sensitive things, to cyber criminals. So from a personal point of view, cybersecurity is very important because you could lose your money just in 5 minutes, everything you've worked for. It's also important because you can be impersonated and you can you can be taken to arrested for something that you didn't even do or you are ignorant of. And cybersecurity is also important, especially from an organizational aspect. There's this adage that says it would take a long time to build a reputation, and it takes just how many minutes to destroy it. Cybersecurity, without it, trust me, any bank can be run in one day. Any organization can be dropped down in a day, like in terms of reputational damage and anything. So I would like to define it as protecting data, your assets, anything that you deem fits important from unauthorized access or cyber criminals. So, and this can be personal and this can be corporate information. So that's why you see that it's now becoming a managemental discussion, right? Very, unlike in the last 10 years, let me say I started working in the last 10 years, for example, the way cybersecurity is not how it is now. In fact, educational system. I was looking at the news 2 days ago. The most attacked sector are governmental and educational system and healthcare. So they are not even cyber criminals are not targeting the IT, so to say. That's what
Yeah,
everybody thinks. They are going to the pharmacy, the manufacturing firm, the educational system, the sectors that don't expect, but these guys keep records. So provided you have a business, maybe a one-stop shop, and you keep record, you do POS, they will come for you. We Because I work with a fintech, on a weekly basis, there are fraud alerts on POS. Like you just open a shop and have a POS. Just know that you're a target. That's how crazy it is. So it's
yeah,
important. And for me, just to round up, that's something that's why I'm really passionate about it, because it's a career path that affects people's um
everybody.
yeah, it's personal to people and it
Yeah,
affects lives. What you do affect a business. And if you're a cyber security professional, like you are the forefront of any business, whether you like it or not,
yeah.
you are the first man. I like to call them point man. If you are bypassed, the company is down. So that's how important it is. But I can get more questions from you guys as time goes on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious from what you said. Like, so why do you think that the education and health systems are like where they have the most target?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
because one would
In
think that
fact,
it's maybe banks and stuff like that.
yes, right. You would, in fact, I was telling someone that a healthcare and HMO organization in Nigeria, we
Yeah.
detected their record on dark web. Their record contains over 600,000 patient record, and they didn't know. So
Wow.
now coming to your question, why are these guys so interested in educational system? Is because these are not banks, because provided you have a
Yeah.
business that store personally identifiable information, what I mean, your name, your date of birth, your, what's it called again? Um, any personal information, your surname, your family, your age, your state, anything, you're under attack. Like you are a target. So educational systems, they have the worst security controls because they don't believe that they can be attacked. Now, imagine a university now, let's say Covenant University.
Yeah.
I posted that I have all the names, all their details, their phone numbers. Now, you might feel that, okay, if I post it out, what can you do with it? They can use it for phishing, impersonation. Yes, they can use it for all kinds of attacks. They can impersonate you. That's through voice call and anything. And the most
Mhm.
shocking is healthcare record. Healthcare record because you cannot change the data. If your healthcare information is out there online, trust me, that's it. And a lot of people don't, these are very secret, confidential information. So imagine that
Yeah.
you're seeing healthcare information. I don't know. We are in this country. We have been fighting to see certain information about our president, and it has not been released. So just imagine that somebody just detected this and put it out there. Do you know the kind of issues it will cause?
Yeah.
So that is how it is. Like healthcare information, especially abroad, they take their data very, very confidential. So if someone is HIV positive and this health record is let loose, you could tell the damage it would cause to a lot of people. So because healthcare records don't change, they are the most expensive record on dark web that attackers are going out for. That's why they go out after is it what's it called? H HMX in the UK. And what's it called? I can't remember the organizational name in the US. They go after any form of clinics, any form of healthcare institutes, because if this record are stolen, the organization that they
Yeah.
steal it from will pay fine. You will be fined. Then the patient will sue you. You see, those are
Yeah.
reputational damage. The
True.
record of the patient are out there. So you can see these are the things that are happening. So it could just go for life. Like there's so many impacts it could cause. Yeah.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much. So now I'll be asking what are some of the most common cybersecurity threats or scams that people
Mm.
face today, especially in where we are right now in Nigeria. What are some of those threats, and if someone experiences a cyber threat, what can they do to mitigate it, or how can they protect themselves next time?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the most common, even today, number one would be phishing, which is more like the easiest to do. And what that means is that
Okay, I
it's
think okay. I
yeah,
just
oh,
wanted
can you
to make emphasis that so someone doesn't think it's this fishing, like actual like fishing in the sea. So yeah, fishing as
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
especially in Nigeria, let's take Nigeria as a case study. It's phishing. It's phishing
Yeah.
because I can just think about a company that I want to target. I did it because one of the things that I do also is like consulting for certain organization. So there was something I did earlier in the year. There was this organization I was consulting for, and I was thinking of what's the ways I can get to bypass this organization or test their controls. And what I did, I went to their website and looked at what they do and sent them a phishing email. In 2 days, I had
Yeah.
9 of the management records. Like they are used their name, their phone numbers, their title. I
Okay.
used those records to now bypass their physical security. So when I get to the office, I told them I
Wow.
want to see this person. This is the name. They were like, they allowed me in because how did I know those names? So um these days I see that from experience,
Positive.
most of the Nigerian citizen
Yeah.
are attacked with phishing. So it can either be through phone call, called phishing, or it can either be through SMS, called smishing. But most of them are the ones you get a link, somebody sending you a link, either through emails or through a social media platform, fill this form, take this survey, and you're clicking on it. Even on mobile phone, somebody sends you, and before you know, your phone is now compromised. So phishing is it, because that is one way you can get somebody to, convince them to click on a link, right? That's it. Then the second one is ransomware. Now, attackers are like business people. They don't want to just attack you, right? I think that ransomware is the most deadliest because it is profit oriented. You'll make money from it. So other types of attack are done without, maybe the end goal is also to make money, but ransomware is the one that is very sure. So I send you something, maybe through a USB drive. Do you know that people put malware inside USB drive and drop it at different companies? I can go to a company and go to, just visit the reception and forget what's it called, a USB drive that has a malware there. The intent is that a lot of time you see a USB drive, you want to check what is in it, right? It could be like a document that I share with you that has malware in it. You open it, your system is compromised with ransomware. And what ransomware does is that it's just encrypts all the files on your system, and you cannot access your system again. You cannot. It's not possible except they give you the key. So it uses a key to encrypt your system. So you have to now pay money and they will give you the key to
Yeah.
decrypt your system. Now, these two are the most,
Yes.
that affect organization, because if I use ransomware to affect a business and I'm telling them that for you to get your file back, you have to pay like 5 million, they would, because they don't want to hear that they were attacked. And if they didn't pay, I would cyber bully them that if you don't pay, I'm going to tell the world that your data is leaked. You see? So the business is forced to pay the money to get their data back. So phishing, ransomware, and the ones that I'm seeing in recent time is what we call info stealers. They are becoming more popular. So what info stealer does is that you click on a link, right, either through
Yeah.
phishing or that somebody sent to you, and it's more like a kind of code, a program code that crawls your browser. Most people store password on their browser. I don't know if you do it. I also do it. Like,
Uh, that's
exactly,
something I
just
do.
stores. So the info
Yeah.
stealer, it does scan your browser, the configuration, and check the password page and copies your password because your system is online or your phone is online. It's going to send those details to the
Wow.
attacker, over the internet. So info stealers are
Yeah.
becoming very, very
So,
popular. So those are like I'm talking about the most trending attack today. Yeah. All right. So
wow.
that's it.
Okay. With cybersecurity, it does seem, yeah, with everything that you've shared, it does seem like a very interesting career
Mhm.
path for anyone.
Yeah.
So,
It's it is.
what are those career paths that are available in cybersecurity for someone who's interested in starting a career in the field?
Oh, okay. So because you mentioned career, let me see if do I have the permission to share my screen on something?
Sure, you do.
All right. Just a minute, please. I want to
All
see.
right. Okay, so while he's getting ready to share his screen, if you have a question, you can just put it in the chat so that um, when it's time to take questions, we'll take your question.
Yeah, I think that you need to enable multiple hosts to present.
Okay, let me do that.
All right. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. If you can see Nelson's screen, just drop an
Yes,
emoji in
I
the
can.
chat. Okay, thank you so much.
All right. So within the cybersecurity domain, right, there are different areas. So for somebody coming in, that's the mistake a lot of people make. So they see all these different areas and they just go in. There are some of these domains or these career paths that requires you to be a specialty, that you need to have some experience, 2 3 years experience, like for example cloud security. Rarely would you see someone starting off going into cloud security or employed. Let me use, you can go into cloud security, but in terms of employment, because it is not an entry level role. So I'm going to explain this based on entry level role and mid or higher level roles. So for entry level, right, the common areas where you can come into cybersecurity would be either through number one, the blue team. I like to call them the blue team, the defensive aspect of cybersecurity, and that's where you see the operations now, and that's where I'm currently at. When I joined cybersecurity, I started from the engineering part, then the engineering part here, then I move into operations. Now, engineers, you can be your goal can be to be a junior security engineer, right? So you can, this is one good part because these roles are needed on a daily basis. And every organization need a security engineer or a security analyst. So in the operational aspect, in the world today, most people transitioning into cybersecurity going into the operational aspect. So either as a security analyst, so this role, or cybersecurity administrator. Then when you begin to spend more years, you grow into senior level, right? So you can either be a SOC analyst, security operations center analyst, cybersecurity analyst, or cybersecurity administrator. That's the operation. These guys are needed on a daily basis. That's why they are one of the most sought after in terms of transitioning. Then security engineers, you see them more in consulting, in the, what's it called? Um, Auditing firms, right? They get security engineers, even bigger organization. You can even work as a cloud security engineer. So in the United States today, security engineer has more than 40,000 job openings. Then the next is the operational aspect, analysts. They have about, I think, 20 something to 30 something thousand, compared to other aspects that have 5, 6, 7,000 job opportunity. So going into the engineering aspect, that means you'll be deploying security solution and ensuring that you maintain the solution. The analyst aspect, you're ensuring that you monitor, you investigate, and you conduct incident response. So if there's any form of investigation that needs to be done, it's your job. That's what an analyst does. So you are needed on a daily basis. Now, there's another part for people that are non-technical, which is the privacy aspect. So if you know that you are coming from a non-IT background, one of the areas I like to let people know is the privacy aspect and the governance. You see, the governance are also very important. They call them the GRC, governance, risks, and
Yes.
compliance. So cybersecurity risks, the risks officer, you see the risks officer or the, where is it? Sorry, yeah, data protection officer. They call them the DPOs. These are the people that are
Yeah.
involved in what we call the privacy. You know, Nigeria has a privacy standard, NDPR. So as a DPO, Your work is to ensure that the companies are following the mandates of the NDPR, right? Then I'm just speaking to the entry level part, to be honest, because those are the very, very important parts that everyone must know. And if you're, again, one of the good things I like to tell people is that look at what you already have experience in. So if you're someone that have experience in sales, finance, your goal can be in cybersecurity sales. And these guys are heavily paid because there are so many cybersecurity companies that are selling softwares and security solutions. They need a salespeople. They call them pre-sales engineers or cybersecurity sales, what's it called, analyst or manager. So the sales aspect is a good part. Then if you're into the educational part, yes, you can also
Yeah.
venture into masters and become a cybersecurity educator or lecturer. So I spoke about the governance, the compliance. They can be a compliance officer in any organization. Then a lot of the time, this is what people have in their mind. Oh, ethical hacker. Anytime you hear about security, the next thing is hacking. That's not all. In fact, those hackers are not, to be honest, for entry level. So, of course, you can get job as an entry level penetration tester, that does hacking. But because your responsibility is not needed on a daily basis, most organizations outsource this aspect of cybersecurity. Very few organizations have their own internal pen tester. That's why I wouldn't advise anyone starting off in cybersecurity to go into offensive. Start off in operation, start off in engineering. If it's for the technical, then you can move on to offensive as time goes on, or network security. But if you are the non-technical part, start off either in privacy, governance, or compliance. So you can be a
Yeah.
compliance officer. I said that before. You can be a risk analyst or a risk officer. Or if you have experience in audit, or financial
Yeah.
analyst, you can even go as security auditor. That's also a good part, especially people that does what's that course again? I can't remember. This account, if you're into accounting, if you're into anything around audits, or
Okay.
this is good. If you're coming to
Yeah.
cybersecurity audits, auditor, they are also very well paid. Then the other parts are the advanced specialized area, like malware analysts, cybercrime analysts, DevSecOps. These are like application related security. Again, I want to mention that if you're someone that's already doing software engineering, or you did science, or you
Yeah.
are developing software and you feel that, I want to still do cybersecurity, you can go into the application area. So because you're already building code, so you can be a security software and application security analyst. You can be a security app developer analyst, right? Because when this code are built, somebody needs to test them. When this code are built either on the cloud or on-prem, you need to test them, do like some static testing or dynamic testing. The application is, especially in the United States, this aspect is very well booming. But the thing is that you need to have a background in software engineering. You need to know how to use programming language for application security. But you see, for cloud, someone that is going to cloud, I like to advise that they start off as a security engineer or an analyst, then you can transition into cloud. It will be very easier, you see. So I don't know if there's any question around this, but um, like I said, there are entry-level job roles and there are mid-level job roles. So if you are starting off, look at your experience. What am I good at? What do I have interest in? And which of this domain,
Okay.
help you with that? Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say.
So, if you guys have any questions, really very informative and detailed. Thank you for that. If you have any questions on cybersecurity parts, you can just drop it in the chat. So the next question, someone might, after you shared all of that, someone might say, cybersecurity seems like such an amazing role. There's lots of money to be made. but they don't know what skills to build. So, what would you say are the best skills for an entry level person? Maybe soft skills, for example. What kind of skills do they need to have in place to start a cybersecurity job?
Okay, soft skills. Okay, so I would take you to one of my slides that I have here. I think that, to be honest, these are the first skills sets that I would recommend anyone to have, because, and they are really talked about, but they are something, this for me, if you don't have this skill set, you can't make it in cybersecurity. Because I would say this, aside from my professional work, I have been doing either voluntary or non-voluntary, engagements with people about transitioning. And one thing I would say is that the few that were able to successfully transition, they had this key personality. Like they have this key trait. I can trace these things to them. And because I know that it's a very dynamic field, very dynamic, very, very dynamic. One of the field, I didn't say difficult, dynamic. So then dynamic could be that something is invoked today and tomorrow, that is it. Every month it's like that. There's something called Patch Tuesday in cybersecurity. What that means is that the
Patch
second,
Tuesday.
yeah, Patch Tuesday.
Okay.
That's like the second Tuesday of every month. A lot of cybersecurity companies, including Microsoft, release new
Yeah.
patches about their applications. They release new vulnerabilities that are currently being exploited by attackers. So just know that every month there's something new coming out. There's like we're in December,
Yeah.
this is the first week. In by next week, you would see there will be a lot of news. Oh, this application, Microsoft Windows 10 has Windows 11, has this vulnerability patch, like, and everybody will be running. Every month, there's always a running up and down, trying to see that are we safe, are we not safe? It's like that. So
Yeah.
what that means is that even right now, there are a lot of thousands of vulnerability that we don't know. So that would require time, dedication, commitment, and curiosity to find it out. I spend a lot of my weekend doing research. So you need to create time to really see, do I have the time to learn this thing? Because there's a theoretical aspect of cybersecurity and there's a practical aspect. There are so many concepts for you to understand. You need time. What I see today is that somebody want to do security in 1 month and they want to start getting a job. That's like
Yeah.
fast, like plug and play. Cybersecurity is not a plug and play thing. You need to really take time. And for me, that was my journey. You have to take time to learn the concept and you have to be dedicated. It's not something that you do 1 week and don't come. So if the organization is starting a boot camp or training, some people is you come this week and you don't come next week. You can't be like that. Then commitment, the assignments that are going to be given to you, you can't do the assignment alone and make it. You need to research. That's where curiosity come in. What other solution, what other softwares can do this thing? Because you'll be doing some practical learning. Do you know that's why have a master's in cybersecurity and not get a job? There is hardly a cybersecurity job opening that will ask you for masters. Do you know why? Because there is a theoretical aspect to cybersecurity and there's a practical aspect to it. So if you
Yeah.
don't know it, you don't know it. It's not about your certification. It's not about your degree. It's about what you're bringing to the table. What value are you bringing? So
Yeah.
these key things are very, in terms of personality. That's why I like to talk about these things first. If you know that you cannot commit to these things on the 6 month, and ideally, research has shown that it takes about 6 to 9 months for someone to transition in cybersecurity, except that you find yourself in certain situation where someone refer you for an internship directly and you start learning on the job. right? Or after school, you got an IT placement and you just start learning. Aside from those scenarios, I'm talking about starting off from you don't have an opportunity and you want to grow your skill to now start
Yeah.
applying. It takes about 6 to 9 months. Yeah. So that's one. This is what I'm going to say around the for beginner, you need to, and this is what I see that most people don't have. Then after like 3 weeks, I'm sharing resources with you, and you just see like, how far? What's up? And like, man, I'm still working on it. And that's it. So that's what I would say. Then the next thing I'm just going to add to it is the roadmap that I wanted to show in line with your question. So what do I need to do first? Get a program. Get a program. You can join a program, take a course, you know, like if the organization can do a boot camp, um, or if you're a self-learner, get a course, then go through all the resources. Like, don't be quick to specialize too easily. Take your time to go through the resources. The thing is that it's going to help you checkmate whether it is just a wish or an interest. So to be honest with you, I just like to tell people, if you're interested in cybersecurity, take go through a YouTube video that had to do with cybersecurity first before you enroll for a program. The reason is that you might like another course and not cybersecurity because you've not done your self research on it. Do a research on what cybersecurity is and take a video and
Yeah.
see whether it interests you. Do you see yourself doing this on a long time? You can't become what you don't see yourself doing. So then go through the bootcamp because learning cybersecurity alone can be very difficult. So go through a training, 3 months, what's it called? 6 months. If it's a 3 months, make you just know that even a 6 month, no bootcamp or training institute can give 100%. They will teach you, you still need to do your own part, you know. Then
Yeah.
you look at free certification or paid certification like you see here. Then you start doing some hands-on because the mixture of your training, your certification, and hands-on these are the things that employers are looking for today in the job market. Do you have the training? Do you have any certification to prove that you are very serious with what you are saying, transitioning, right? Or have you gone through do you have a certificate of completion of any online course, either free or paid? And do you have the home labs? Like, have you done some do you have some basic practical experience with free tools? That is the things that recruiters are looking for. They want to see, are you really passionate or you're just looking for money, right? So you have to put yourself out there too. You know, when you make this research, you do your project, write doc, and these are things that a lot of people don't do. So you do a project, you just keep it on your laptop. Nobody knows that you know it. So you write up stuff on LinkedIn. Let people know that you do security. That's more like a self-marketing kind
Yeah.
of. Then you update your resume with some of the projects you have done, your certification, and your learning. You see, these are the things that I like to, I just feel that it's more like a summary of the things that you'll be doing. Yeah. That's it. So I don't know if there's any question.
Thank you so much for that.
Mhm.
Someone might be wondering, like, okay, I've taken courses, I've
Mhm.
volunteered in different places, and now you said that they should actually self-market. What if the
Yeah.
person is dealing with imposter syndrome? Like, how do they overcome that here? Because I think that might be one thing that keeps people, especially entry level people, from actually putting
Mhm.
themselves out there.
Okay, so putting yourself out there, right, doesn't have to be that you are doing a video of yourself, right? So let me give you an example. If you are given an assignment to do in cybersecurity, maybe you're taking a bootcamp or you're doing a self-learning, and the assignment says, install this software to scan your system or this antivirus. Let's say it's an antivirus. Install this antivirus, use it to scan your system if there's any. The steps, there's a step you follow to install it. just putting a summary document, of your step, of how you did that project, like a little summary guide, and you share it. A lot of people say, oh,
Yeah.
I've seen people tell me that, oh, this can still be worked on. This is something I learned late. My mentor told me. And I was like, yeah, just like you said, what will someone say? But at the end of the day, it's my page. You've seen it, you view it, and you pass. So, but what it helped me to do is that it helped me to create that awareness. And as a result of doing that, I have gotten two referrals in terms of job from people that I don't know. They were following me, and I was following them on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I once did a we spoke about phishing, right? The other time. I did a research on phishing and put like an infographics on how to identify phishing, how to respond or investigate them. Did you know when I posted it, I put it like in a
Right.
PDF, in a Word document, then I converted it to PDF, just put it on my page. That stuff went a bit viral. Like that was like 2 years ago. It went very viral. The CISO of a bank reached out to me and said, send me, I did like to get the that guide that's on this fishing. And he linked me up to some people that I
Wow.
know today. Now, if I had met that man and said, maybe I needed a job at the time and said, sir, I'm open to internship or job, do you think that he would refuse? Do you think he would do something? He would put me in mind if he has one. Yeah. So that's what people, especially Nigerians, don't do. They learn in secrets and they keep
Definitely.
information to themselves. People, black man, they say don't share knowledge, and that is what is killing us. So I think that when you learn, and again, another part to it might just be like an article you read about a news, just like we repost things. Do you know the truth? People repost other stuff, but they don't repost things about what they learn. But they go online and see news that so repost, maybe you read about an article and you feel that wow, this is good knowledge. Repost and put your comments or your thoughts, your summary of what you think about it. That oh, I remember I did a summary about a post, and my friend called me from the bank and said, see, my boss is sharing your comments, your review session to the team that we should follow this. My friend called me, so I didn't know. She was like, oh, this is my guy. This is my guy. So you don't, somebody's reading it and somebody's taking notes. You have to put yourself out there in security. Like, yeah, it's not must, but for someone coming into this space, people need to be aware that you know these things or you are interested in this field. And it's easier for someone to now refer you that, oh, I know someone that usually posts some stuff on security or do like a blog post. It helps you, especially from a global point of view. A lot of global jobs, they want to ask you about this. To be honest, I was having an interview session with a company at the time. And on my CV, my blog post, I put the link to where you can see all my blog posts. I use a platform called Medium. And what happened was that during the interview, this lady from US picked up that link and said, tell me about some of your research work and your project. Then I was telling her about some of the projects that I did, and she was interested. She clicked on the link. She saw some of the videos. She saw some of the write-up, and she was like, I want this. I want someone that can organize our team and give us, a, she hasn't seen that before. And that was something that speaked out. So a lot of people don't put more like profile. You say it for software engineers, they put profiling. For security, we want to see your work. We want to see projects you've done, not just on your CV, but tell us about a research work you did recently. That could be,
Yeah.
the outstanding thing for the person, right? So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So, if you're listening to this, it's very important. Please note that you should not be afraid to put yourself out there.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think we rounding up now, one of the last questions I would ask is one of the last, not the last, is can you take us through a day in your life as a security operations manager at Moniepoint? What do your day-to-day activities entail?
Wow, man, that's a lot. Okay, so you're waking up in the morning and you're getting a lot of either emails or alerts. So because as a security operation manager, I'm in charge of incident response team, threat intelligence team. Those are the people that monitors dark web to see if there's any, or social media to see if there's any leakage of our files. Then the vulnerability
Yeah.
assessment guy. So I have these three teams that I worked on. Now, the first thing is to always check, are we safe? My boss will ask me, are we safe today again? So I need to be sure that I'm checking across all of our software tools, almost 10 of them, checking across. Do we have any critical alerts that we need to investigate? Do we have anything that is new from out of the, that we haven't seen before? Then, there's always a lot of projects that we are working on. So I'm reviewing with my team what they are doing and challenges that they have, either joining a meeting. But I spend most of my time investigating any critical alert because we have POS, we have servers, we have different laptops, different across the world. So there's always something to investigate. Somebody's bringing your attention. Like the case of the phishing I told you, somebody's reporting, maybe they got a phishing email, they are reporting it. We need to investigate to be sure that nobody click it, or if you click it, what should we do on your system? So that's where incident response comes in. If somebody click a link, or if somebody downloaded a cracked version of a file and it's compromised their system, we have to do forensic analysis, threat hunting, to investigate what really happened, why did it happen, and what can we do better. So I spend a lot of my time investigating, thinking of ways for us to improve. Um, like I said, dark web monitoring, because there's a lot of information. The thing about security, you don't even know when you are hacked. You don't know if your information, so you have to constantly be proactive to check up, so that proactiveness, yeah. Because personally, I like the idea of investigate. I like to investigate things. So that's how my day goes. Investigation, incident response, monitoring, reporting to my bosses, you know, um, just making sure that everything is fine and we are not out there, or our customer, so how many people are using Moniepoint. So imagine somebody's like, my data is out there to, or my
Yeah.
data is compromised. That's a lot of issues. So we making sure that everybody money is not gone. And the truth about it is that because you are this kind of a business, you have a lot of people attacking you, finding ways to compromise, either from inside or outside. So that's the worst. So anybody, even the staff, can decide to go rogue. So you have to now monitor from both sides. Yeah. Mhm.
No, that sounds like a very fun activity. I mean, activity
Yeah.
parts. Yeah,
So
and like you
many.
said,
Yeah.
if someone is not committed, if they don't give time to it, they really will not be able to
Yeah.
thrive in it.
True.
Yeah. So I remember a question that someone asked in our community yesterday. They said so the
Okay.
person was asking if it is okay to use one password for across social media platforms, across different apps, and if
Yeah.
that can lead to hacking. So how would you answer that person?
Okay,
And
so
and how would you say, sorry, how would you say is the best way to actually like create passwords for your
mm,
apps?
okay, good. So I'll just quickly share something on my screen. I don't know, can you see my screen?
Not yet. Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a site called Have I Been Pound? So as of
Yeah.
today, it has over 14 billion accounts compromised across the world.
Wow.
Now, if you have open a Yahoo email before, like in back in the days, there's a high chance that your
Yeah.
Yahoo email is compromised. Now, what these guys do is that, number one, based on your question, you shouldn't use a single password,
Mm.
right? Across. So the password might have the same patterns for it to be easier for you to remember, right? But at least your password should be within, um, let me say, above 10 to 12, 14 characters. Look for something,
Mm.
mix it up, you know, alphanumeric, you know, certain unique characters. Make it different. Let it be lengthy. And it should also be
Yeah.
noted that at least once in 3 months, change your password, rotate your password. And that brings us to the
Mm.
concept of password manager. Yeah, I know that the browser, Google Chrome browser has that feature to say when you are creating an account, it suggests a password for you, but that password is saved. That brings us to the point of the info stealer. They can crawl
Yeah.
that password and steal it. But you can use a password manager. If you go online and look for example, a free password manager, yeah, that you can drop on your system, you install it, so so that all your password is managed on that password manager. Anytime it's easier, you don't need to cram it, easier for you to remember, and it gets changed too over time. Easier for you to change. So I would recommend using password manager, but for someone that doesn't want to use password manager, make sure your passwords are lengthy and you can
Mm.
have a pattern. So, for example, if you're saying joy at um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then the next one could be like favor at something, another kind of characters, maybe odd numbers,
Yeah.
something. Let it be
Mhm.
long and put some kind of hash, maybe hash at the back.
Yeah.
So it's in your head, you know that if it's not this password, is this one. If it's not this one, is this third one.
Yeah.
It's 3 or 4 password that that
Mhm.
that are lengthy. You can just mix it up with hash, unique characters, and all. So, and again, this site, one of the things I like to share this site to people is that it is good to check. So you can check your Gmail, your inbox at least once in a month, so that if you notice that your password, your email is found here, change it. But to be honest with you, aside from using username and password, most
Yeah.
importantly, have two-factor authentication. Your WhatsApp, your social media should have two-factor authentication. Make sure that you can authenticate with your phone. So you are putting your username and password, they send you a token.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you do that, you would bypass more than
Mhm.
90% of any form of breach. Have two-factor authentication.
Everything.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it. Okay. Um, that's I don't know if there's any more questions, guys. Oh, someone is saying part two. Yes, of course. If you want to have part, you can call me up anytime. I would be available. All right. Okay. We can't hear you. I don't know if it's me. The line seems to be breaking. I don't know if other people can hear her, please.
Mm.
Mhm. Lauren, I think
Really.
yeah, it's still cracky a bit. I don't know if other people can still hear her.
For me.
Yeah. It's still not clear. Okay. All right, guys. I think that we would get to catch up.
Okay, I'm back. Can
All right.
anyone hear me?
Yeah, sure. Now we can.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My network was lagging. Okay, so I don't know if anybody asked the question while I was away. Does anyone have a question to ask? A comment, something that you've always wondered about cybersecurity? Okay, so in the absence of any questions, I think I'll just ask the final question. And that would be like if you had in just a sentence, if you had something to say to someone starting a career in cybersecurity, someone who wants to learn more about cybersecurity in just a sentence, what would you say to them? Hi, Nelson. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yes, I can.
Yeah, so for someone that is coming into cybersecurity, I would say you should do a proper assessment if this is truly what you want. Um, then make a decision to commit to it to be the best. So make
Yeah.
sure you do an assessment that this is truly what you want. Then decide to, make that decision to give it your best.
Mm. All right. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and I bet that everyone on this call has also learned something. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we are Vertical. I work at Vertical, and Vertical, what we do is providing courses, providing resources for entry level professionals, core members, to help them thrive in their careers. And we created the Vertical Cyber Champs cohort program that allows you to learn in a community. So if you are here and you're not part of that program, but you would be interested in joining. And then also because you joined this program, we can also offer you a discount. So the discount link will also be in the chat. So thank you so much once again, Nelson, for joining us. Had a very It was a very enlightening session. So please, in the comments, just drop thank you, put an emoji, to really appreciate Nelson because yeah,
Yeah,
such
thank
an
you for
amazing
having
session.
me. Thank you so much
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
you're
thank you.
welcome. All right, now I'm sure you would be heading back to all the like your activity packed thing. So I wish you an amazing day and everyone on the call as well. Do have an amazing day. Bye.
Yeah, bye.